What's up, beautiful people? It's your girl, the Glow Coach, here with another episode of Biz and Breakthroughs. And today, you guys know I always bring the best to Biz and Breakthroughs. We have Michelle here, who is a marketing expert. Super, super excited. I have been lurking on her stuff for a long time. You guys know I'm a lurker. I go vet, I go watch, I go listen to all of these amazing people. So I have been watching her for quite some time. So I'm very honored and very excited to have her a part of the podcast. I think she's phenomenal at what she does. I think she's very, very good at what she does. And on top of that, she's real. And it's not a lot of people, I think, in the industry that are as authentic as Michelle is. So super excited to have you here and just to drop some gems and some knowledge. You guys know, like I always say, I never introduce my guests. So I'm going to let Michelle introduce herself and just tell us a little bit about who she is and what she does. Welcome, Michelle.
Yes, thank you so much. I am excited to be here. It's so funny you say you were lurking on my page. I do the same thing. I like to go lurk on people's pages and just see what people are up to and connect. So I'm glad that you connected and reached out, and I'm happy to be here on the podcast. So I am Michelle Thames. I'm a marketing and monetization strategist and coach. I like to throw that in there too. I really focus a lot on strategy. That's what my background lies in. So I'm really strategic when it comes to thinking about marketing your business using social media and digital. I was fired from my healthcare job in 2016, and it pushed me into really following my passions, which was blogging. I started out as a natural hair influencer. So I started back in 2009 when the word blogger wasn't even like a thing. So I was like, you know what? I have something here and I can really take this somewhere else. And what if I do tap into my passions and really, blog and be in this digital space and create a YouTube channel? And so that's what I did. And me and my husband, we have a marketing agency, and I get to work with amazing clients, and I get to wake up every day and do what I love. So I'm excited to talk about all the things marketing and monetization, and to help any women who may feel like, hey, I can't, start my own business. Yes, you can.
Yes, I am so here for all of that. I think it's so interesting to hear everyone's background and really just how God has transitioned them and led them to doing what they're currently doing. So I think that's super dope. That's one thing that I actually didn't know about you. I mean, of course, you have natural hair, you have beautiful locks. So it just kind of makes sense that it's a part of who you are. But I think it's so cool that that's actually where you started and it led you to all of this success today. I always ask everybody a little bit about their background, but I'm curious to know, like, what kind of drove you towards actually wanting to teach marketing and monetization? Like, what actually led you to wanting to, be the expert in your field and to show other women how to do what you are now currently doing?
Yeah, so like I said, I was fired. My background is in healthcare administration. I actually have a bachelor's and a master's degree. So I took the traditional route, going to school, getting a job, because healthcare, they're always going to need people. So I went into that, but I wasn't fulfilled. And I was actually fired from my job in 2016. And I was like, okay, well, maybe I should freelance. So I started to do some freelance writing for naturallycurly.com, which is an online platform. And I really got my feet wet. And, I was like, I could do this for other brands. And I actually put out on social media that I was doing social media management, and I got the opportunity to work for Mielle Organics, which is a hair care and beauty brand. I was one of their first social media and digital marketing managers back in the day. Like in 2017, the brand was very new. It was like 4 or 5 years old. So really helping to build that foundation of what social media looked like, what the influencer program looked like, what the emails looked like, what the events looked like. I was doing some of everything. And so I was like, wow, I had an epiphany. And, God will always like tug on you when it's like time for a pivot. And the message that I kept getting said, you need to help more people and you can do this. Now, I equipped you with all the skills. This is why I put you in this position with this startup company, and you're going to get your eyes open to so many more things that you never even would have known about marketing. And now I want you to help more people. And so I had to listen, and I listened. I quit in 2019, right before the pandemic. And the brand has grown so much, and I'm just so amazed and proud to see how far they've come. But I started my business and with me and my husband, and I've been able to work with so many amazing people. And I said, I never wanted to let my personal brand go to the wayside either. And my goal was always to be able to help other women and show them that you can create an online business. And so I've created my online marketing agency. We've been in business for going on 4 years. It's crazy to even say that August 1st is our 4-year anniversary. And so I'm saying, wow, I can teach other women this too. I can teach other women the techniques and my ways, and that it can be easy. You can be a mom, you could travel, you could do all the things. And so I'm really passionate about helping other women really leverage their skills and expertise online. Like, you don't even have to leave your house. It's so amazing what we can create. And so that is why I felt like I wanted to help other women, because I've been through it. I've gotten fired. I've had to figure it out. I've created this life that I really love, and you can do so too. If you want to create a business now, it ain't easy. It ain't easy. And I share all of that too. Like, it's not easy, but it's fulfilling. And so that is why I'm out here helping other women, because we deserve to make the money too. Like, so monetization came in as like, oh, you have to help people with that too, because we're scared to charge, we're scared to stand on our worth and say, hey, this is the price. So that's why I'm here to help other women level up with marketing and level up getting the bag.
I just love how God will put you in certain positions to equip you for the thing that He's actually called you to do. And I love how you were able to take that and say, you know what, let me actually step out there on faith. Let me put any fears or anything that comes up for me aside, and let me actually do the thing. And I think in doing so, that allows us to really create more impact on this earth. Like, imagine if you would have just said, you know what, no, I don't think I'm going to do it, and blah, blah, blah. Like, imagine how many people would not have gotten the help that they've gotten through your agency and through your support. I think it's just phenomenal, and I think it takes a lot of courage to do something like that. And that's one thing that I noticed about you. You do share that it isn't easy, but guess what? It's still possible if you keep walking the walk. And along with that, working on yourself is so important. Like, I've watched you for so long. I've seen you cry. I've seen you be vulnerable online. I've jumped on some of your lives where you share, like, listen, if I can do it, you can do it too. And I think an important part of being that leader and being that expert is also sharing, like, listen, I'm getting through this right along with you guys. And I think sometimes people don't show that part of themselves online, and it keeps your audience from really connecting with you on a deeper level. So I think that's why I'm so drawn to you. And I really think that's a big part of why you're so impactful in doing what you're doing. So I love all of that. Now, monetization, honey, if I'm here, if anybody else is here for making $1, it's me, okay? And I do believe that God has gifted everyone with something, and if He gives you the idea to now create something and present it to the world to make money from it, you have to be smart about how you're doing that. So how can someone monetize their ideas using social media? Because, I mean, we both know, and I'm sure we've heard it 100 million times, that, I don't like Instagram, or social media is so hard and nobody's paying me any mind. Like, how do we now take these amazing creative ideas that God has given us and actually use an online platform to make money from it?
First things first, if you hate Instagram, you don't even have to be on Instagram, because I hear so many people, oh my God, I hate Instagram. Nobody's liking my stuff. I think Instagram started out as like, yeah, I'm showing this stuff to my friends, but as all businesses, they evolve, and we cannot be mad at Instagram for evolving. Like, I feel like it's so much anger towards Instagram, but it's a free platform where you can reach hundreds of millions of billions of people. Okay, so if you don't want to use it, don't use it. That's what I always like to tell people. There's still Facebook, there's Pinterest, there's YouTube, there's podcasting. So really think about, what do you really love? Like, what type of way would you like to present output, like content, to people? Maybe audio, so you can start a podcast, then you don't even have to show your face. Or you could start a podcast and do a video podcast like we both do, and say, hey, this is the video portion as well. So again, it just depends. I think that if you want to start on a place like TikTok is video focused, right? So you want to be able to come up with whatever platform it is, a strategy for that platform. Okay, that's the first step. And well, the first step is actually, what is the product going to be that you're going to sell? Maybe it's a course. You can do one-on-one. It really depends on what your business model is. If you're a coach or a consultant, you can, have a one-on-one call. You can do courses. You can have a subscription model. So really decide what is the way that you want to monetize, and that you don't have to stick to one thing. It can be several things. But what I did is like, okay, I have this one brand. Okay, I have these different ways to monetize, but let me get a few things down packed first, and then I'm going to move on to something else. Because if you try to do all the things at once, then you're going to get nowhere. So like, that's why I started with the agency. All right, I'm good monetizing there. It's getting there. Now let me work on my personal brand, speaking, and these digital products. But once that gets rolling, you can make it easy for yourself. I know that sounded like a lot, and you're probably like, oh, it's too much. But again, start with what you can actually handle. That's why start with the SMART goals, what's realistic to what you can handle. And so you don't have to be everywhere. I do recommend multi-channel marketing because you can reach a wider audience of people in different places, because not everybody is on Instagram. Not everybody is on YouTube. There's people that are on YouTube that probably never even touch Instagram. So again, you want to appeal to different audiences. And if you want to use social media and digital as a tool to generate leads, because that's really what it is, you're getting in front of more people to get more eyes on your business, and in turn you're creating like the hype, and or people want to reach out to you, or they want to work with you, but you have to put out the content first. So again, don't stress about the platform. Really start to think about where your people are first. Like for me, my people are definitely on Instagram and Facebook. They're millennials and Gen X. They're moms. And so, or they may not be moms, but they're women, and they're on both of those platforms for sure. And then that's how I decided, oh, well, maybe I should start a podcast. Oh, maybe I should, dive deeper into YouTube. So market research is definitely going to be your friend too, and when you're thinking about all that.
Yeah, that's really good. I tell people definitely, especially about like, what do you actually want to do? Because I think a lot of times people are really inspired and they get excited, but they don't take time to think about, well, number one, what does this even look like to do this thing? And this is why one of the very first things that I teach, no matter what coaching program or however I'm doing it, what workshop, is clarity on the vision. What is it that you actually want to do, and what does that look like to now deliver this product or this service to other people? Because now that's going to help you identify how you should package it. And then like Michelle said, okay, now what platform do you want to showcase your stuff online? Put a price tag on it that makes sense for you, that aligns with your beliefs, because sometimes we will stretch too far and we put a price tag that we don't really necessarily have the faith yet to build, which is why it's okay to start at the bottom and work your way up and build your faith at the same time. But like, what do you actually want to do? Like, what's the product or the service? What does it look like? And then where do you want to put it online? I think it's really, really smart to put yourself everywhere. And I know, Michelle, I know you talk about it too, like repurposing your content and how to be all these different places at once without overwhelm. I think a lot of people do see other experts like ourselves show up in all these places and wonder how it gets done. It's like repurposing in a smart way, getting help where you actually need help, getting support. Like if you can't do social media and you have no idea what's going on, reach out to Michelle, get support from someone that knows it a little bit better than you, so they can help you put all these pieces together that keeps you from like stressing out completely to where you just give up. A lot of times that overwhelm and all those fears and things, you'll just give up in the middle and you never even have a chance to really see the results that you're looking for. So I think that's really, really great advice. One thing that I would like you to touch point on is, okay, so now that we've monetized our ideas, we have a price tag, we're on social media, we're doing all the things, how do we actually start making money? Because I have heard it and I've seen it and I've experienced it myself in the very beginning when I first jumped online. It's like, okay, I'm creating the content, I'm doing the things, but ain't nobody buying nothing from me. So what kind of tips or advice can you give to help people start actually making sales through the content that they're producing?
I think you should approach everything you do as a campaign. So I come from a marketing background, and everything we did was a campaign. So think about that as launching something. So you should probably think about, how are you going to launch the product to the people? Are you going to do a free webinar to gain leads? And then are you going to sell during that webinar? Or are you going to do a challenge? I really love challenges, y'all. I'm the challenge girl. I do them in my Facebook group. So I recommend, and this is what I'm currently doing. I have a Facebook group. Everything I do is happening in that Facebook group. Free, free webinars, free challenges will happen inside the group. That's generating leads to a group, to a specific place. Now you have all these people in the group. You run your challenge. You can, promote whatever it is at the end, or sell them into a different higher ticket program, whatever you want. There is like no blueprint necessarily to like how you want to do it. That's why you should think about what your goals are. But the lead generation tools, like a webinar, like a challenge, or something like that, so you can get the leads and then you can sell your course. But it just depends. Or if you don't want to do it like that, you can just do a launch via your email, and you say, hey, I have this course coming, and you tease them up until the launch, and then you launch the course. You have an open cart and you say, hey, I'm closing cart on this day. So there's so many different ways to do it, but I think most people don't realize like there's a lot of work behind actually selling something, and it's probably in a campaign format. Like, okay, we're starting on this day, I'm going to send out this many emails, we're going to get this many leads, because it is about leads, and sales and marketing are two different things. The marketing part is getting people to see it, but you still got to sell them on it. So your copywriting, what you're saying in the emails, are you getting on the phone with people, closing them on the calls? All of that matters. So you see all these people online, they're saying, oh, I did this, but like, what method did they really use? They're not really saying that, right?
Yeah. Yes, I completely agree. A lot of people don't know what goes on in the back end of stuff. And I think it's important that, like you said, it's a difference between marketing and actually selling. So if all you're doing is posting content and you're not actually seeing results, then you know that you don't have a real solid sales strategy. And then, like you said, too, it's no blueprint to this. Everybody does things differently. Like, we may all be using certain foundational ways of selling, but it's like a mix and it's aligned to how we actually desire to show up in our businesses. So it's not one right or wrong way. And that's one thing that I love about you, Michelle, is that you don't lock anybody into a certain way of doing things. You really allow them the freedom to design that thing wrapped around, okay, well, what do you actually want to do and how do you want to do it? Now, here's a smart way to put it together so it can be effective. And I think that's really, really important. I just really despise cookie cutter methods where someone is like, oh, well, you have to do it this way. Like you said, you're choosing to do a Facebook group, but that may not be the thing for everybody else. I actually used to do a Facebook group too, but I prefer to actually sell through my emails and sell through my SMS campaign. So that essentially is like I have my lead magnet, I have the thing that I do to generate leads, but then I sell it in a different way. And so I want people to understand that get your sales strategy all the way intact, but design it in a way that's going to be effective for you and the people that you're actually selling to. Where are your people? What do they like to do? Where do they desire to spend time with you? So that way you can be selling to them primarily in that space. So I think that's super, super cool. I love what you're doing. I love the community aspect. I think that's so perfect. And like the fact that you know where your people are and how to actually get them to engage with you and come into your world and then utilize your services and get the help. I think that's super great. I definitely want to talk about, especially because you're so vulnerable, which I really, really appreciate, just some of the challenges that entrepreneurs face. I know for me, when it comes to marketing, a big thing that I struggled with was one, imposter syndrome, comparing myself to every other coach in the industry and I'm not good enough and blah, blah, blah. And then another thing that I dealt with is like not feeling seen or heard. Like, it sucks so bad to put out all this content that you think is so wonderful and then nobody looks at it. So it took me a really long time to like get over that and realize that honestly, in my opinion, the people that lurk behind the scenes actually are the ones that end up buying from you the most. So not to even be focused on all of these likes and all of this other stuff that really doesn't matter, because 9 out of 10 of all of my clients were lurkers and I had no idea that they even existed. So it took me a while to get off of that whole nobody's paying me mind stuff. But what are some of the challenges that you really see entrepreneurs face when it comes to marketing, and what advice would you give to help them overcome it?
Oh, and this is so good because what you said was like key. I think if you approach marketing and social media as knowing that it's a tool to help you reach more people and that it's not like a like doesn't define your self-worth. Like, just because nobody liked it doesn't mean that it wasn't good, doesn't mean that you're not good, that you're not an expert or anything. So we have to separate those two. And it could be really hard for some people to do that. But when we begin to work on it and say, okay, social media is not my lifestyle, I'm just sharing on this tool that's allowed me to reach more people. I have this thing in my hand like every day where I could tap in and get new audience, where I could tap in and create a community. Think about it like that. It shouldn't be like social media is help, like your worth is based off that. And a lot of people's it is. So if you're listening to this and you're feeling like that, please do not base it off of likes and follows, because somebody can have 10,000 followers and they not even make a dime. So what you should probably do is build a community. That is what I have done. And I feel like when you build a community of people, now you have people that ride for you, right? People that are your advocates, people who will share your stuff with other people. And then that in turn just brings more people. And there's so many ways you could build community, even just by like JV partnerships, what we're doing, going on other people's podcasts. Today, I came from my friend's retreat this past weekend, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do a retreat. And I was just like, oh, I'm just gonna share it in my stories to see if anybody would be interested. I'm not even, and it's in January. I'm like, oh, I'm just thinking, right? Somebody already responded and was like, oh, girl, send me the details. Like, what's the payment plan options? So building that community, and this was through somebody else's podcast. That's why I'm saying this. Like, this person listened to me on somebody else's podcast and then became a part of my community. So think of different ways to build that community, to build that up about yourself, to build up your expertise, and don't base anything on these likes. Like you said, I've gotten one-on-one clients that never even liked the post, but they DM'd me more information. So they've been watching my posts on Facebook. They've been in my Facebook group. They've seen me on Instagram. So people may not be liking your stuff, but that doesn't necessarily mean that your stuff isn't good or that they would not be a client or customer. Just know that you are an expert. And if you exude that energy, if you put it out and say, look, what I'm doing is positive. I'm here to help people. I don't care about what Billy Bob is doing on this side and what Jane is doing on this side. I got tunnel vision and I'm growing my business. I guarantee you'll win every day. Because even if it's a loss, and it's not a loss, it's just a lesson, because all I say is, oh, it's just a lesson. Nothing is ever a loss. I always win. It's no losing. So think about it like that. And I hope that was helpful.
Yes, it was definitely helpful for me, honey. You better speak a word today, okay? That was definitely so good. You know, one thing I heard, it was years ago when I was still a cosmetologist, but one of my clients told me that you have to maintain tunnel vision, like you said, because the moment you start looking to the left and the right to see what everybody else is doing, now all you see is distractions and obstacles on your path. You know, so I think it's so important that you just remain operating in your gifts and continuously showing up, and nothing is a loss. Like Michelle said, you have to look at what's working, and what's not working is data and analytics. Do not let it define you. Do not let, whatever you perceive as a failure to tell you you're not good enough, or because you got 2 likes this day and 25 likes the next day, oh, that post isn't good and I'm trash, and throw the whole business in the garbage. Like, none of that is true. And a lot of times you have to be relying, I'm not even saying a lot of times, all the time, you have to be relying on your faith, because God is always doing something behind the scenes that you have no idea what's going on. He is literally lining up the people that you were assigned to help through your business. But if you don't continue walking in that direction, you won't come in contact with them. So you have to learn to put your emotions aside and not let social media ruin your day because you didn't get a certain amount of likes. Okay, so that is our piece of word for the day. Okay, do not be letting social media stress you out, honey. Get support if you don't know what you're doing, so you can be more effective. But your success and the money in your bank is not determined by how many likes and comments you get. I was like, when I made my first 6 figures, honey, I might only be getting 10, 15 likes, if even that much. People didn't care about no likes. They cared about coming to sit in my chair. Okay, when I made the most money, the first time I made a lot of money as a coach, people were lurking. Nobody was like really liking and commenting, but people were joining my program. So likes and stuff, none of that is relevant. I think definitely you can go watch Michelle. You can hit her up and you can get in all of her programs and get some support where she can teach you like how to look at the things that really matter analytically. But I'm telling you, likes and comments is not going to be the biggest determining factor to if you're going to be successful or not at something. So leave all that stuff in the trash. I do want to hear a little bit from you, Michelle. I know we talked about what other people are dealing with, and I talked a little bit about me personally, like some of my struggles. But what are some mindset shifts that you had to make personally, specifically to show up online fully? Because I think, like I said, dealing with imposter syndrome, I did not talk a lot about my gifts. I didn't stand strong in my ability to be a great coach. Like 2023 right now is the best I've ever felt as a coach, where I'm waking up like, yo, I did that last night, or after a coaching session, I'm like, damn, that was really good. Like, I got to pat myself on the back. But it took me a long time to really own who I am and who God has called me to be. So what are some personal mindset shifts that you had to make in order to show up as amazing as you show up today?
Oh, yeah, I definitely, sometimes we think that we're not worthy enough of even being able to do stuff like this. And so sometimes I find myself like, should I even keep going? Is it even worth it? But it is. Even if 2 people show up, even if 3 people, 10 people show up, keep going. And so I know that for me, I just have to tell myself that the people that are supposed to be for me are for me and they're out there. I think that goes for everybody. I'm not for everybody because I am real. I'm not about to lie to you and say, "Oh, I can help you with get 10,000 followers tomorrow and you about to be popping." No, it takes work to grow on social media and the marketing. And if you're not willing to show up, I'm not the person to even help you because I'm going to tell you you're going to have to do some work because it requires work. And maybe getting an assistant or a VA to help you with certain tasks, that is great. But you still, as the business owner, have to be the visionary of your business. And I feel like everybody just wants to give it to other people. But if you look at it like, okay, well, maybe I can like handle these things and my assistant or VA can handle some of those things. And that's even some mindset shifts that I had to make to even scale my business. So I cannot do all this by myself. I recently just got a VA to help with like content, like the campaigns that I'm doing, like what's going on in the background. I recently started running ads. So there's a lot of stuff going on that I know I still have clients that I'm helping in our marketing agency. Like we're doing marketing director work and we're helping clients with like campaigns, promotions, like helping them with their team. So I have to focus on that too. So being able to make the mindset shift too of, oh, I have to fully show up on social media to promote myself, to promote my content, but I need some help. So that's another recent shift that I had to make. Like, look, you need to get you some help because if you want to really fully show up for your clients, but not let your business fall to the wayside, because I don't believe in that. No, my business comes first. Don't their business come first before your business? So it should be like that for you too. You shouldn't put your client's business before your business. You still have to get leads. You don't want to be out of business. So still think about how you're going to generate revenue. So I don't think there's a balance. There's harmony. You can have harmony in everything because I am a mom. I got a husband. I got a daughter. She's a basketball player. She does all these things. And so really just making that mindset shift too of I can have everything I want and it doesn't have to be hard. It can look how I want it to look. Maybe and for me it is, I want to travel. I want to be, chilling. I want to take a nap in the middle of the day. I want to have easy clients that I work with that's fun. And I actually have that. So making that, again, mindset shift too of you can have the clients that you want and the dream business that you want to create. So those are a few things that I had to work through. And I think, well, no, I don't think now. I know I'm in a better place in my business. And I just, like you said, I feel great. I feel like 2023 is really, it's rocking and rolling. And I have these scary goals that I probably might actually reach. And it's looking like OMG, but I'm excited.
Yes, I totally agree with the scary goals, honey. Sometimes I'm like, God, you want me to do what? And I'm praying for what? Like, who gonna do that? But I definitely agree. It took me a while too. Like before we hopped on, I was talking about like being a loner. I'm accustomed to being so independent. I just talked about this on another one of my podcast episodes that I have like this really, really independent nature to where I think I can take on the world, honey. But I'm realizing, especially now being a wife, like we're almost 1 year in to me being a wife. So I'm kind of new to this wife thing, okay? So, but I'm learning like my husband has to be important to me. And of course, spending time with my children is important to me. And how do I maintain helping my clients, especially like my one-on-one clients, and I'm really in that thing with them. Then I just launched a 6-figure club, which is group coaching. So now I have a whole bunch of other women that I'm constantly thinking about their businesses and praying over their businesses and finding new ways to support them and help them. It's like it gets hard to juggle all the things as one person, so I had to really make a decision to be like, okay, where do I really need support? What is in the budget to actually pay people? What makes sense financially? And how can I begin to get more assistance? But it took me a while to do that. One, because I'm like really overprotective over my babies. And when I say my babies, I mean my businesses and my clients. Okay. So I had to really put aside the fact that I think I'm the only one that can be great for them and realize that, you can train people properly. You can have certain SOPs. You have to know your business inside and out so you can even tell people what to do. But there are people that God will put on your path that can support the people that you are here to help. help. So that's definitely been like a big thing for me too. So thank you for sharing that. I think it's phenomenal what you're doing and how you show up. It always inspires me just to continue up in my game, leveling up in my marketing game, honey, showing up for the world in a powerful way. So we appreciate you. I would like to know some of your favorite tools for content creation. Now, we know AI is on this whole takeover thing. So, of course, I know everybody's been using Chat GPT and things like that. I also know, and if you can touch on it a little bit along with your tools, it might have been a while ago that I heard you talk about it. But you talked about how to get better branding photos. You talked about some places to actually go take photos. I think a lot of times people get caught up that their brand doesn't look good visually enough. And there are so many hacks and different things that you can do to get amazing brand photos. So can you tell us a little bit about your favorite tools and how to make our brands look amazing as well?
Yeah. So, I'm all about this AI. I'm not even going to sit on here and lie and act like I don't use ChatGPT every day. My clients even use ChatGPT. I think it is a lot of hesitation with it because people, may fear like integrity of it, but it's a really powerful tool. And if you know how to prompt it correctly, it can help you in so many areas, like outlining ideas, outlining projects, a lot of things, y'all. A lot of things. Another tool I love is Loomly to help me schedule out all my content. Me and my assistant use it. She can schedule in my Facebook group all the content for the week. She can also schedule to my personal Instagram, and she can also respond if need be. Like she can respond through this platform as me to help build community. So Loomly is an amazing tool that I really love. Any other tools? I like ClickUp. I know we project management and just managing content in general. I use that. I have a board where I put like all of the content, so even down to my Instagram stories, because I'm about to be really consistent for the next 30 days. So stories, what am I going to talk about? What are the reels going to be for the week? What's going in my email? All of that, so you can stay on track, because if I don't have it somewhere written down, it's probably not going to happen. And ClickUp also integrates like within your calendar, Google Calendar, so you can have your tasks on your calendar. So I really love that tool. Any other tools? What other tools did you say mention just besides like tech tools?
And also how to get like really amazing brand photos. I know you had shared a little bit
Oh,
about
yes.
where you can take some great photos as well.
Peerspace. So Peerspace is a platform where you can rent different spaces in your city. So if you feel like, oh, I don't have a really good space to create content, rent a Peerspace. You can rent space for like $40 an hour or even $20 an hour in your city. So I really like to leverage that. Sometimes people even rent Airbnbs. Maybe you rent an Airbnb for the weekend and get all the content that you need. Definitely map it out, because if you don't map it out, you're going to just be lollygagging and not get the content. So map it out and then like take maybe five different shirts and get some different shots. But Peerspace is definitely amazing, and also Airbnbs. And now that it's nice outside, you could go outside in different areas and get content as well. So even if you don't want to spend money on something like a Peerspace or Airbnb, you can always do that. Hotels, even. I mean, you want to stay for a hotel for the night that looks really nice. You can get some great shots. Take your ring light and all that. Make it happen.
Yes, I think it's definitely important to start where you are. I think there should be no excuses as an entrepreneur to not really get what you need to make your brand and your business as amazing as possible. So, like she said, Peerspace, $20 an hour. Take an hour, grab your iPhone, put portrait mode on so it could be nice and really blurry, but the background still looks good and decent. Put on your cutest outfit, honey, and go in there and take some photos. Now you have brand photos. So it's no reason why you can't start. And I do believe that using AI is definitely going to support you. It's one thing that I'm practicing and playing around with to find the right ones for me. I know that it can be like an overwhelming amount of AI that's coming out all at the same time, but play around with different ones. Find one that's actually going to support you. I use ChatGPT too. Now, I do believe, and especially because I'm like, always really spiritual, that God is always going to provide information for me. He's going to give me downloads. He's going to give me wisdom. He's going to give me ideas. But ChatGPT can help me really expand on a lot of those ideas, or format things in a way that makes sense, or help me repurpose certain pieces of content. It's like so many different things that you can do with that. So don't fear using AI and think, oh, it's going to make me generic. It's going to make me sound like everyone else. You shouldn't be copying and pasting completely and not making things your own. You should be using it to expand on what you're already doing, or sometimes just to go in there and brainstorm. I've gotten a lot of great ideas, especially for the boutique that I have, on different content ideas that I didn't even like really consider. Like some of them I've definitely thought about, but it gave me like so many other good ones, and I looked at, I was like, oh my God, I can take that and I can do these 50 other things alongside with that. So use AI so that way you're not wrecking your brain when it comes to showing up online, because otherwise you'll totally burn out and you'll be staring at your computer drawing a blank. Okay, there are all types of AI that can help you repurpose your content, break down your videos, write stuff for you, give you artwork, all kinds of things. Okay, so go hit up Michelle and go find out what all of these amazing things are, and then see if she can help you create a social media strategy while you're there too. Okay, so I think that's really, really good, and thank you for sharing that with us. I want you to tell everybody, because a little birdie came and told me that you have an amazing event coming up. So I want you to tell the listeners how they can find you and all about your event and how you can support them with their marketing and their monetization.
Yes, well, a little birdie did tell you right. I am so excited because I am hosting an in-person event here in Chicago in November. And so it is called the Creative Cash Flow Summit Live, and it's going to be amazing. So if you're like, I'm definitely trying to monetize, I'm definitely trying to figure out the different ways that I can generate income, but not only that, how can you keep that income? Then this event is definitely for you. So definitely, I know I will have all the information, but you can always hit me up on Instagram. And if you even just want the information for the event, you can DM me the word cash flow and I'll send you all the information for the event. We have a room block at the amazing Hilton. It's going to be super awesome. So if you're looking for the information, because I guarantee you, you're not going to leave with just like, oh, that was great. You're going to leave with like, oh, I'm going to implement this and I'm going to see this growth and I have these goals that I'm pushing forward to, because that's what I believe in. You, of course, you can get all the information, but if you don't implement it, then nothing is going to happen. And so I'm really excited about this event to bring other experts as well together to really provide valuable information to help us level up and get to the bag.
Yes, that is so good. Honey, cash flow is the word for 2023, okay? I just love all of that. I think it's going to be phenomenal. I think it's going to be so impactful. Okay, who's not trying to take a trip to Chicago and go learn how to make some money online? I know I am. That's for sure. So I'll definitely make sure that I link all of that in the show notes. I'll have all of Michelle's information there in the description. I'll also make sure that I link all of the info for the event as well. So you guys make sure that you check it out so you do not miss out. I'm pretty sure there's going to be a sold out event. So get your ticket early, okay? And stop playing around with your online stuff. So at the end of every podcast episode, I do a little fun thing called 5 Boss Baddie Truths, okay? And so I consider everyone a boss baddie. You are a boss baddie, Michelle. A boss baddie is simply someone that is beautiful inside and out, that is operating in her gifts and showing up fully, being a light on this earth through her business. So it's 5 fast-paced questions, okay? You only have 5 seconds to answer the question. And I want everybody to know, I do not send these questions to my guests so they are not prepared for what I'm about to ask, all right? Question number 1. I'm going to make it easy for you. What book are you currently reading or have read that has helped you learn more about being as great as you are as an online marketer?
Chill and Prosper.
Oh, I like that.
Book.
Now I'm going to have to Google that because I don't even know.
Denise Duffield Thomas.
Chill and Prosper. Okay, we're going to look that one up. I'm going to make sure I link that too, because that sounds like that's going to be good. Second question. What is your Boss Baddie song? What is one song that you play on repeat that makes you feel like a boss?
So there's this new song by these artists called Chris and Teeb, and they are affirmation artists, and they have this song called Winner's Creed, and it's like, I win, I don't never lose. And so that's what I've been playing every single day. Every single day.
I like that. I like that a lot. That's definitely a good affirmation. I win and never lose, honey. Okay, in Jesus' name, we go claim that. That's really, really good. Okay, you're at a party. What type of friend are you? Are you the wallflower? Are you the hype me up friend? Or are you the twerker or the two stepper?
I'm the hype you up friend, and then I'm gonna go home and go to bed friend.
She said, I'm leaving the party. You get it on, girl, right? It's 12 o'clock. I got to go. I'm here for that. Okay. On another serious note, what are you currently healing from right now?
Ooh, that's a good one. From disappointment with like trusting people. I'm definitely healing from some disappointments, but I told God I was letting it go, and so I'm letting it go.
Yes. And we just going to claim healing all over you, honey, and release of everything that you have been feeling. Thank you for sharing that. And then our last question, because this is Biz and Breakthroughs, what is one thing that you would tell another woman right now to give her a breakthrough?
Just keep going. Don't stop. I know that sounds cliche, but if you just never give up, you're going to be successful because most people give up. And so if you don't, then you're that extraordinary 1% of people that don't give up. Or
Yes,
whatever
definitely keep
percentage it is,
walking.
you don't give up.
Right. And it's crazy because the percentage, unfortunately, is really low because people do give up in the middle. And I always say that's the time when you have to dig in the deepest. When it gets hard, like that's when you got to really dig in and lean on your faith. Like if the enemy isn't trying you, if things aren't going wrong, honey, you ain't doing something right. Okay. If it's too easy, something is off somewhere. So I don't mind the battle. I said, put your armor on and get in there and go ahead and reach your success. So I appreciate you so much, Michelle. This has been amazing and insightful for me. And I hope that the listeners were taking notes, okay? Or if you're watching this on YouTube, I hope that you were taking notes. We appreciate you for your time and we hope that you do come back and give us some more support, okay? So we can keep getting all these gems and all of this juicy information. Thank you for spending time with us today on the Biz and Breakthroughs podcast. And we look forward to having you back on another episode. And I'll see y'all later. Peace out.